Hello, welcome to Wind Dancer Garden. We're a specialty nursery located in West Salem, Oregon, and we're on an 1.5 acres of property that has both our display garden and our stock, and as well as our private gardens. And we'd like to take you on a tour of all those today. Everyone always wants to know how we first got started with grasses, and actually it was quite by accident. About 12 years ago, I bought a grass in the fall. It was a miscanthus. I put it in our yard, and I was so impressed with how it looked all winter long, waving in the breeze, and great cover for the birds, and actually having quite a bit of sound as well. I decided I needed to find out more about ornamental grasses, so the quest began, and actually it's quite addictive. There are new grasses that come out every year, and new varieties that look better than the ones that we had 5 years ago. So it's always exciting. And the thing I like best about the grasses is that there is a grass for every situation in your garden, whether you have full shade or full sun, whether you have a hill strip that nothing will grow in, there is a grass for that particular location. So it's easy to add grasses to your garden or to design your entire grass around gardens. There's every height from 1.5 inches to 16 feet. There are evergreen grasses that look good in the spring. They're the cool season grasses generally that need to be have temperatures below 75 degrees to really look their best. And then there are the warm season grasses that do better when it turns really warm. They really get their big growth late June through autumn, and they bloom generally from late August through October. Those are the miscanthus and the pennisetums, panicums, molineas, and all of those particular varieties have very distinct seed heads and growth habits. So you can combine them. You could have a bed that was all miscanthus if you wanted to, because there are so many different heights and colors. They're variegated and solid green, and so you could do that with just grasses. But I personally like a little variation of different types of grasses in a bed. But all you need for a really great look is say for instance a few berms, a few mounds, a boulder, some river rock, and just a few grasses, and you have the most elegant, simple look. And it's very low maintenance and low water necessity. So it makes a lot of sense for our ecological interests at the moment. So when you're designing with grasses, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. The first questions that I ask are, do you have sun or shade? That makes a big difference in the type of grass that you'll purchase. And also, will you be watering it? Most grasses need water the first year, and then many of them are very drought tolerant after that. Also, how tall do you want the grass? Like I say, they grow up to 16 feet and anywhere in between. So if you want to block out your neighbor's window, then you need a taller grass. Clumping bamboo is also a good choice. They grow anywhere from 8 feet to 12, 15 feet tall. And they're clumping so they don't run. The rhizomes, rather than going out like running bamboo does, they actually come back up in the center of the clump. So the clump just gets thicker rather than wider. It gets a little wider every year too, but you can make it less thick by just editing out a few of the culms that are in the middle. And if you have a wet spot, there are grasses that do grow in a lot of water, a lot of dampness. So you just need to know the type of area that you have, how much sun you have, and whether or not you're going to water it or whether it already has enough water. And from there we can determine what type of grass that you would need. So I also want to talk just a little bit about the maintenance of grasses, which is very simple. You just need to know that if the grass is deciduous or if it turns tan in the wintertime, then it needs to be cut down in early spring. So when you see the new green growth coming up, that means it's time to cut it off, and that allows the sun to penetrate the soil and warm the roots, and up it comes again. Now if it's an evergreen grass, you'll want to just bring it up to a clump at the top, cut off any ends that might be damaged from winter damage, and just rake through it with your fingers, pulling out any of the dead leaves that might be there, and you're set to go. They don't need fertilization except when you plant them. I recommend that. But from then on, no fertilizer. Too much nitrogen actually makes them flop, and so it's a good idea to just put a little compost around the perimeter of the grass in the springtime, and that's all the fertilization that they'll need. So very simple. Also think it's a great idea. Most plants look better when they have a little irrigation, so I would recommend putting grasses on a drip system that gets the water right down to the roots. You don't waste any, and it doesn't get water on the foliage and the inflorescence, so it doesn't weight them down. It's just a really good way of watering the grasses. So with that, I'd like to take you on a tour of the display garden and also of our personal yard, and let you have an idea of what Wind Dancer looks like. Also would like to tell you that we do have a website called Designing with Grasses. We'll have some good information about how to take care of your grasses, also some of the new varieties that are available, and just some general information on grasses. So please join us at our website. Thank you.